Hi, the CMIS team is excited to introduce a new data quality analysis tool called EVA. This tool is published by HUD, and we consider it to be a much improved version of the data quality framework. The data quality analysis function of this tool will be the focus of the majority of this training, but there's also a system flow analysis tool which covers client inflows and outflows for programs. I will cover this briefly at the end of the training. We are switching to EVA for quarterly data reporting because there are four reasons we think it is vastly better than the data quality framework. The first is that the software will be updated by HUD over time, so EVA should automatically respond to updates in data quality standards. This is better than using the data quality framework, which has a delay as we wait for WellSky to make changes, or business objects reports, which would have a delay as we make the changes ourselves. The second reason is that it does a better job of identifying what in particular about an error needs to be changed. For example, the data quality framework will tell users that an error exists in a particular category, but not how to remedy it. EVA has a much more detailed list of errors that are returned for each client and includes a glossary that allows users to look up the specific remedy for each error type. The third reason is that EVA does a better job of prioritizing what types of error correction is important by breaking them into three categories: high priority, standard, and warning. This is useful for situations where users may have a limited amount of time to spend on data cleanup and need to prioritize fixing only the most impactful errors. The fourth and final reason is that EVA includes a wider variety of possible error types, allowing for a more detailed analysis of all types of data quality problems. However, just because the CMIS team is recommending that you use EVA does not mean that you lose access to the data quality framework. You're still welcome to access this report at any time. Because this software is published by HUD and not by WellSky, you are not able to access it from within CMIS. This means that users have to have some kind of way to link the information stored in CMIS over here with EVA over here. This is done by exporting a hashed HMIS CSV from CMIS, then uploading it to EVA. You can access the report that generates a hashed HMIS CSV in the reports section of CMIS down here. The report asks for a few standard prompts, such as name, enter, entry data type, provider, start date, and end date. I'll input a test name right here. I'll select HUD. Here, when you're looking at provider type, you can either export data about a group of projects or analyze a single project. If you're interested in analyzing a single project, leave provider selected and simply find the project you're interested in. If you're interested in analyzing multiple projects at once, select reporting group. If reporting groups are new to you, reach out to CMIS at housingalliancede.org and we can walk you through the process of creating one. The important thing to know is that reporting groups allow you to analyze multiple projects at once. I'm going to select a reporting group. I'll take this one. I'll put a start and end date, and then run the export. A security note while we wait for the report to load. The hashed HMIS CSV is not a true export of all CMIS data. For example, it does not include information like a client's name or social security number. Clients are identified only by their CMIS number, and this is done in order to reduce the risk of sharing client data with people who shouldn't have it. However, users still need to proceed with caution anytime they are handling a hashed HMIS CSV. The file should not be sent via an unencrypted email to anyone else and should not be shared in any capacity ever with people who do not have access to CMIS. It should never be uploaded anywhere other than the official EVA website. This is because the file is still considered to have PII, or personally identifying information. Imagine a situation where you have assisted a client who identifies as Native Hawaiian or Pacific Islander and provides their full DOB. These two pieces of information alone likely uniquely identifies that client amongst all the clients who have received assistance in Delaware. Especially in a state as small as ours, it is extremely important to be vigilant when using reports that contain large amounts of personally identifying information. We must avoid any situation where an unauthorized person may be able to uniquely identify somebody's record. To reiterate the three key points: never send hashed HMIS CSVs via unencrypted email. Never share this file with people who are not authorized CMIS users. Never upload the file to any website except for HUD's EVA tool right here. Returning to the report now, though. I've cut the video and waited a few minutes, and it looks like things have finished up running, and we're now able to download the file. You can do that by hitting the magnifying glass and clicking on download result right here. Once you've done that, you'll see that you have a file called Dover underscore live underscore hash CSV underscore number. You're welcome to open up the zip file and review the individual files, but this is not necessary at all. Once you have this in your downloads, you can just go over to EVA, click on click here to get started, click on browse, and then pull this hash CSV file out of your downloads. I'll do that right here. The first thing you'll notice here is that EVA is doing a check to determine whether or not there are any file structure errors and essentially whether or not basic benchmarks necessary for analysis are being met. Occasionally, if you try to analyze a very old project, this check may fail. If you get a message that's indicating anything like this, reach out to CMIS at housingalliancede.org and we can update the information in your project's profile page. However, I believe that any currently active project should work smoothly, and you can then move on to the data quality analysis section. So I'll mark here, there's no file structure errors. While I was able to successfully upload the CSV I exported from CMIS, I'm actually not going to do anything else with this specific file here in EVA. Instead, I'm going to switch to the EVA demo site mode, which uses a pretend data set, allowing us to review the actual capabilities of EVA without using any actual client data in order to preserve everybody's privacy. Now that the demo site is on, we are effectively back to where we were before and when we had just uploaded the hashed HMIS CSV. On the left side of the screen under the Assess Data Quality section, you see three different options. Check project data, system level, and organization level. You should use project level if you are interested in reviewing a single individual project's data quality. If you are interested in reviewing data from multiple projects, though, you can use either system level or organizational level. This does not make a difference for most CMIS users because the reporting groups in CMIS only contain projects from one organization. For example, if you work for Family Promise, the reporting groups you use likely only contain projects that are within Family Promise's organizational structure. If you were to use system level analysis, this would also include data about all organizations included in your hashed HMIS CSV. So if a top level user, like somebody who works for Housing Alliance Delaware, were to use this option, the system level data would return summary data about each organization in the COC, such as Family Promise, Ministry of Caring, and summarize their errors all at once. If you use organizational level instead, this would focus the scope of analysis to only one organization at a time. However, because most users only have one organization's data within their CSV, it does not matter which options they use. In this case, I'll click on the organizational level, and at the top, you can see there's three different charts tracking the most frequent high priority errors. Beneath them, or I guess I should have said three different bars. Beneath it is a chart that tracks the general errors, and beneath that is a chart that tracks the warnings. These are useful if you want to do a general overview of the most frequent kind of data entry errors that occur. But if you'd like to do a deeper analysis and begin doing some more thorough actual error correction, we recommend hitting the download button on the top left of the screen. This document will contain a list of every error in your organization and show how to remedy it. As I open the Excel doc, you'll see first a bunch of tabs at the bottom of the screen, which you can see all down here. It also may look a little bit intimidating. For example, if I go to the high priority tab, you see a lot of information all congealed into relatively tight columns. The first thing you want to do is widen the columns and make it a bit more approachable. Once you've done that, you can see that there's been three different types of high priority errors that have occurred here. Personal ID 999999 has a few different duplicate entries, and there's a couple other clients that also have duplicate entries. There's also these clients who are in households with multiple heads of household, and these clients down at the bottom that have missing relationship to head of household. You can see the entry dates of the projects that they're associated with this, the project's name, and the organization they're associated with. If you were unsure of how to take care of any of these errors, you could go over the guidance tab and look here. This is a list of all the different issues that have occurred in your CSV and how to remedy them. We recommend, because there's so much information that goes in the guidance tab right here, to use the wrap text button. It will automatically make the column height to fit the amount of text that needs to fit on each line. So if we were unsure how to fix the duplicate entries, you can see here that a client cannot have two enrollments with the same entry date into the same project. These are duplicate enrollment records. Please address the issue. This is saying that the person has been enrolled in the same project twice, and you need to delete the duplicate entry. If we were to want to keep looking, we could see that there's the error section here and the warning section here, having more data quality work that you could take care of to improve the general information that's being entered in CMIS. In my experience, people sometimes feel that making CMIS data corrections is disconnected from their everyday work as service providers, seeing it as a distraction from helping ordinary clients. Please know that this could not be further from the truth. Data quality is an essential part of serving clients because good data quality is the only way we will ever be able to create meaningful narratives about the clients who are served. The data tells stories about groups of people and what it is like to generally be homeless in a particular area. Sometimes these narratives are written about a population in an individual city and used to determine where the biggest gaps in services are. Sometimes these narratives are considered at the federal level, and CMIS data is used to determine whether Delaware should maintain its current allocation of federal funds. In all cases, we are only able to use CMIS data if it is entered in a complete and accurate fashion to tell these stories. Now, I had mentioned this briefly at the beginning of the training, but I'm going to return to EVA for one more time to check the system performance overview section. I'll start on the system flow tab, and this is some useful tools to analyze your individual projects and potentially evaluate your own success, although it's not required by the CMIS team to use at all. On this first tab, we've got the system flow tab where you can track the number of people who are homeless and housed in your project at the start date of your CSV. It then tracks the number of people who are homeless and housed at the end date of your CSV and the inflow and outflow of clients over that time. So here, based on the sample data, you can see that there's more homeless people and less housed people enrolled in this project at the end date of the CSV than at the start date. If you were interested in tracking the exit destinations for people who were enrolled at the start date of your CSV, this chart would help that. And it will track them between exits, non-permanent destinations, permanent destinations, homeless destinations, inactive, and clients who remain enrolled and housed in this. I believe it should also, yep, and it also has the enrolled and homeless right here. If you're interested in doing specific demographic data about what race or ethnicity or age of people you're assisting, this chart will help you analyze that information. It breaks it down by race, age. You can also include veteran information in here, gender information. The key thing to note is as you analyze this data, you should see a lot of asterisks. This is when the count of clients in an individual category are below a certain threshold. It will display asterisks instead of the actual count. This is to help avoid identifying any individual clients who might be identified. For example, if there's one client in an individual category, you knew their race and their age, you could likely determine who that client is. So that's a matter of client protection, but anytime there's a larger number on here, for example, if we look at the Black African American tab, we see that there's 25 people enrolled in this organization between the ages of 25 and 34. Feel free to look around this section more. I'm covering the system performance overview section only briefly because it is not a requirement to use as part of having CMIS access, but it can be useful if you want to evaluate your own organization's success. And as always, If you have any questions, please reach out to the CMIS team at cmis@housingalliancede.org if you have any other questions. We want to be there to help your organization be as successful as possible.